Hello and welcome to my happy kitchen. Today I'm going to go through a meatless meal for our first Meatless Monday of the Forward21 challenge. I'm going to be showing how to make cauliflower fried rice. So basically you're going to want a head of cauliflower, a half of package of tofu drained and chopped up into little nuggets, a small onion, diced. I used about a cup of frozen peas. I'm going to use some kale to top once the meal is done. I'm going to put Brussels sprouts in mine. So I took about a handful of Brussels sprouts and sliced them in half and chopped off the butts. And about a cup of carrots. For spices, this is amino acids. It's Bragg's amino acids. The label fell off. So I'm going to use some of that. Toasted sesame oil. A little bit of coconut oil. Tiny bit to fry it up. And then I'm going to top it with some sesame seeds. So to get started, I'm going to, in my food processor, basically what it's called as ricing. A lot of people boil this and kind of melt it down, not melt it down, but boil it down. I just grind it up. I don't think it needs to be, processed any more than just kind of chopping it up. So I'm going to put a whole head of cauliflower into my food processor. Oh, we'll also need garlic. I chopped up some garlic. Food processor. I bet a blender would work here too. I've never tried it in the blender, but guaranteed it would work. So you just chop it until it's fine. There's like one or two still fighting. Okay. So it basically looks very ground. So now I'm going to heat up a little bit of coconut oil, because actually coconut oil has amazing health benefits for you, but also has a high heat index, so it doesn't lose the nutritional value with a high heat. A lot of the other oils do. So I use coconut oil. So I'm going to heat some of this in the wok and then saute a little bit of garlic and my onions. So flipping the camera. About between medium and low heat. So I have my garlic, and I put some Thai chili peppers in. I would not recommend that unless you like spicy. So I put a few of those peppers in. So I'll let that melt down, and then I will add, actually I'm just going to add my onions now. So a lot of questions I get about meatless meals and what I usually eat in a day is, do you cook all the time? I mean, my goodness, it's hard to have meals that are not processed and they're just readily available. The question is no, I don't cook all day. I wish I did. But the question is, or the answer is to keep it simple. You don't need to use crazy foreign ingredients that are cost a lot of money. You have to go to specialty stores. You use simple ingredients, and most of the time simple ingredients, that's what's really going to make the meal taste good. So while this browns, I'm going to go grab my tofu. Again, this has already been drained and pressed, and I only used a half a block. Once this browns a little bit, I'm going to add my tofu. And I'm just going to pause it a little bit. Okay, the onions and garlic and chili peppers have been browning for probably about 4 minutes, I want to say. So I'm going to add my tofu now. And there's still going to be some moisture. I've always found, I don't have a tofu press, so I should probably invest in one, but I just haven't because, I don't know, I'd rather waste a million paper towels trying to get the, anyway. So I like to brown this for probably about 4 to 5 minutes. Again, let some of that moisture seep out. I don't like to use a lot of oil when I cook, so I feel like the moisture in the tofu is good when I add the cauliflower, which will be probably in about 4 minutes. So I just let this brown a little bit, and then in about 4 minutes I'll add the cauliflower that I pureed in the food processor. So I'm going to pause it. Okay, so this has gotten a bit brown on one side, so that's awesome. Starting to crisp up. Again, you want to keep it between medium, low, medium. Okay, I'm going to add the Brussels sprouts now. And again, I believe the moisture from the tofu will help keep the veggies moist, and it'll help them cook. So I'll add this for about a minute, and then the cauliflower. Put the coconut oil. Okay. So I'm going to add the cauliflower now. And all I did was take a whole head of cauliflower and just throw it in my food processor. But again, I think a blender would work to get it pretty fine like this. Stir that around. Actually, I'm going to go grab the carrots and add them. I like my veggies al dente, so I don't mind if they are a little hard in there. Add the carrots. And now I'm going to get the amino acids. This has a lot less salt than soy sauce. It's natural. Bragg's amino acid. You can find it in pretty much any grocery store. So I'm just going to probably add about a tablespoon, not more than that. I'm going to turn it down slightly, not quite to low, but almost. And then I'm going to cover it just for about 2 minutes or so. Again, so the moisture keeps inside the wok. If you don't have a wok, I bet a skillet would work just perfectly. So I'm going to cover this so again the moisture keeps in there and cooks the harder vegetables a little bit without adding any more oil to them. So once this cooks for about 3 to 4 minutes, I'm going to add the frozen peas and then a tiny bit of toasted sesame seed oil to give it a good flavor. So stay tuned. Okay, so this has been cooking for about 5 minutes. I'm going to remove the lid, crank up the heat to about medium. Give it a good stir.